So, today I want to talk about something that is worse than winning. It is worse than losing. It is probably the worst thing you can experience in a professional environment or managing something. It is stagnation, and it is the inability to change things after you notice this isn't working and just keep trotting out that same thing and trying to make the thing that's consistently not performing the way you want and not just changing it out or figuring out a different way to come at that. And right now the Miami Dolphins are going through that, and I would argue the Raiders are bad, no doubt. The Titans are bad. I would rather be both those teams than the Miami Dolphins right now, who are just losing to teams they have no right to lose to, and just say, yeah, it is what it is. So, Alex, the storyline that both of us saw coming from a mile away happened. Miami didn't just lose to Cleveland, they got embarrassed by Cleveland. And we are here on a Monday night talking about the repercussions. So, how are you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, guys? And how are you, Angelo? Apart from the PSA to whoever is listening to us, apart from the small coughing and maybe cold-like symptoms, doing fine. So if you hear some coughing, that's just what it is going
Someone in
on
the
right
Eagles
now.
organization probably cursed Alex for all his Eagle
Probably.
hate.
Or just Eagles fans in general. They're into that shit, so I guess that's just it happens, as you said about the Dolphins. It happens. But yeah, kind of a game that we were expecting, like a lot of rushing. Weather conditions weren't any good, to be honest. So a lot of rushing going on for both sides. Um, and then just costly mistakes from Tua. I mean, this is
Three
what we've been
interceptions.
used to. Yeah, three
Yeah.
interceptions, if I'm not mistaken, two and four pick sixes. I could be wrong on that one. But
Yeah,
I
at least one day.
believe at least one for sure.
I
But
think the second
I
one gave a short field for one of the Quinshon Judkins touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm thinking that it was a touchdown or if the player was down at the one. It was something along those lines. But yeah, it's just like this is what Tua has just given us at this point. When weather gets bad, Tua is bad. And this year in specific, like the team is just otherworldly bad. Like the locker room vibes don't seem good at all, actually. Tua was throwing teammates under the bus last week. Um, he then came back and he said a weird thing that we didn't get to discuss last week. But Tua came out and he said something along the lines of like the ownership needs to take accountability as well because players are missing the player only meetings, which is like you should be the leader of that. It's a players only meeting, so you're probably asking for accountability from your side as well. So he calls them out on that players are skipping the meetings. And then, like 2 days after, he goes out there in the media and he says, "Yeah, it's been a rough season, but like, no one is finger pointing at this point. So I think we're gonna turn this around." And it's just like, dude, 2 days ago, you did just that. What are you going on about? So the vibes do not seem to be going all that well. Um, and yeah, this is kind of what you have right now. Like you have an offense that doesn't really move the ball all that much. This was like 100 yards passing from Tua. I'm surprised that McDaniels hasn't been hired yet because that seems like the next logical step.
The first
And then
thing
is
I
to
did after that game completed was I went on Google to see if Mike McDaniels had been announced fired already, and it still hasn't happened. It's
you could check
unbelievable.
right now. It's not happened yet.
I checked before the show. I'm like, this is the most obvious. Like,
It's most definitely not happened yet. So maybe
like
when the show is
Brian
over.
Callahan didn't deserve to keep his job for what he's done with the Titans. Like, I can admit that. Brian Callahan has a better case for staying than Mike McDaniels.
Yeah. At this point, I think this is what McDaniels has given us so far. He is a coach that when everything is right, he can get you a lot of cute plays. He can get you a nice system that just works nicely. It's not a long-term answer, and he just lacks any ability of adjustment. Like when things start to go wrong, they just snowball and it's over because he can't really adjust all that much. And that's true for halftime adjustments. That's true for just random adjustments that he needs to do because he's missing like key pieces. For example, like he's missing Tyreek Hill right now. The offense just looks a shell of what it once was. And despite all of this, like Cleveland's offense was even worse, I would say. You look at some of the key stats for the QBs. Tua, would you believe that Tua had a higher average depth of target, a higher short of the sticks percentage, a higher pass of the sticks percentage, a higher air yards percentage? Yet Tua put up 100 yards passing, and the Dolphins put up a measly 6 points.
Yeah, the Browns don't. That's again, it's a criticism I had with Stefanski when he was over in Minnesota. He does not facilitate development of a passing offense. And like I understand part of that is getting the quarterback right, and the Browns have seemingly done everything in their power to get the quarterback wrong. But at the same time, like it just looks abysmal.
It is at
I
this point.
I don't understand. I don't understand. And granted, I guess I'll go into uh things in my personal life for a second. My fiance's dad is a Browns fan. And I was like, dude, and this is going into the season. This is before a single game was played. I was like, dude, this team has no weapons. It has David Njoku and Jerry Jeudy, and that's being nice. And he's like, oh no, the Browns' weapons are amazing. Name me a wide receiver outside of Jerry Jeudy. He couldn't do it. Like, like, uh,
It's tough.
and I don't understand how people are this delusional about some of this stuff. And that is an organizational decision. Like, I don't understand how the Browns saw just the lack of depth with offensive weapons, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna solve that by drafting Quinshawn Junkins and Dylan Sampson and no other weapons of like note. Really? You're not
To
gonna
be
get another wide
fair,
receiver in there?
I would say that to be fair, some of their picks, some of their draft picks, just in general, have been doing fairly well. Like you look at Quinshon Junkins, he has been
Yeah.
looking very nice out there. You look
Oh
at
yeah.
Errol Fannin,
Good
for
pick.
example, the backup tight end who now needs to be the starting tight end. He has had good games right now. You look at Isaiah Bond that they got, for example, out of free agency. He's been a capable wide receiver. And then you look at the linebacker.
But that
He,
speaks to something that they literally signed an undrafted free agent wide receiver, and he's getting solid reps for them. He's
yeah,
probably their best wide receiver.
I
Like,
would say the best wide receiver is probably the one that is hurt. That is who's that guy's name? Cedric Tillman. I think
so
he's their best wide receiver. Honestly, he looked very good to start the season. But he's hurt right now, so I'd say that's their best wide receiver. And then on defense, they got Carson Schwensinger, the linebacker that they drafted in the
decent
second
pick.
round, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He is looking like the defensive player of the year right now, the rookie defensive player of the year, of course. So they are drafting somewhat good. But the thing is, they are still lacking the main piece in all of this, and that's QB. And Dylan Gabriel clearly doesn't look like it. Deshaun Watson is not it. Joe Flacco, I mean, you can see that Joe Flacco's issue wasn't really age, was kind of the team that he had around him. So I don't really
And
know
weapons.
how you expect this to improve for the Browns offensively. But on the bright side, their defense is great. So they're just like in this game, they're gonna be in games because of the defense.
But you're making my point for me. I'm saying, like, how did you look at this and not invest in any kind of weapons? And you're like, oh, the picks they made were good. Yes, the picks they made were good, but how how do you expect to develop a quarterback, or how do you expect to develop a passing game with Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku? Like,
That is true. I mean, they need to address that offensively. But I think they were in a position this past draft in which you look at the QB class, it was not good. It was not a good QB class whatsoever for you to draft a guy. You look at the other pieces around the QB that you could put in place, and they got some of them. So they got a defensive stalwart piece to add to that already stalwart defense. You add in the backup tight end, as I said, you add in the Isaiah Bond, you add in the Quinton Judkins, and I think the hope is that maybe next year they can address the QB position. Maybe they're going to give some snaps to Sanders, who's going to look absolutely atrocious behind this team, or in any team because he's not a good QB. And you try and
you don't
test
know
the
that.
others with.
Here's the thing. Here's the disservice to Sanders.
God,
You might be right, but if you're wrong, you don't know
I am
that.
right.
But how do you know? You're gonna judge him
Because
based
I
on what
was
he
a
does
guy,
behind a poor offensive line and poor weapons? Really?
and
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
ask
judge
him to
him
hand it
based on the
to him?
sport. I'm just gonna judge him based on the poor traits that I already see out of him in Colorado. So that's just what I'm gonna do. He was not a good QB in Colorado. His arm is a freaking noodle. And it's just like the only thing that I can do is throw it short. And like if you sometimes he manages to throw some deep balls in practice, and everyone goes hurrah for the guy. And it's just like not even in Colorado, playing with maybe the best college player from last season, he had anything going for him. He didn't get Colorado to anywhere. Why should I care about that guy? He was a fifth round pick. The NFL told you all you need to know about this dude. He was a fifth round pick. And I know Brady this, Brady that, Purdy this, Purdy that. It's not at the same level. Like Sanders, if he ever gets a chance, he's gonna look like what he is, a fifth round QB. He's gonna look like a worse version of Spencer Rattler.
Hmm. A worst version of Spencer Rattler.
That's what he is. But yeah, like, do we really need to spend as much time on the Browns? It's the Browns after all. Like, this is not new. This is like par for the course at this point. Let's talk about your Bengals.
We're supposed to be talking about the Dolphins, but yeah, go on. Talk about the
Well,
Bengals.
the Dolphins, we also said like we're all in awe as to how Mike McDaniel has been fired yet. I think it's gonna be coming. Like if it's not this week, it has to be next week because things aren't magically going to be any better. So he's just needs to go, and I think eventually Tua needs to go as well. It's not in a good position because the cap isn't really in their favor with him signing a major extension last year. But still, he eventually needs to go. He doesn't seem like the right fit for the team. But we've seen these things change before. When a new when a new coach comes into town, when a new OC comes into town, things suddenly get a bit better. But again, you start going immediately, and things need to start getting better immediately, because otherwise we go to the old adage of coaches don't really want to get fired without having their guy at QB. Like you don't want to go into a job and like every single bad thing go and fall on your lap, and you fail because of the mistakes from the previous guy that was doing that job. If you're gonna fail your way. You're gonna fail doing the things your way. So again, either things pick up immediately or he's going to be gone fairly soon as well. And after that, like this is just a full teardown. Like there's not a lot of things going for this team in terms of roster. There's some okay pieces on defense here and there. Like in terms of untouchables, I don't see many guys that are untouchable right now. I see maybe you can count them in one hand. Probably, I'd say maybe Waddle is an untouchable, and even then, it's an iffy untouchable. And then maybe some of the pieces on defense, because on offense, I don't think anyone else is untouchable. On defense, I think maybe you have some untouchables in. Let me look.
Are you supposed to be talking about the Bengals? What are you doing?
You wanted to go back to this, so this is
No,
what we're
no, no,
doing right now.
I was just curious how we got from the Dolphins to the Browns to the Bengals back to the Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins faced the Browns. The Browns had Joe Flacco as their former QB. Joe Flacco is now the rock star in Cincinnati. So this is the logical way we go about things. But in terms of untouchables, on the Dolphins, on defense, maybe Chop Robinson, and that's it. So full teardown, I would say. Moving on to the Bengals. We don't need to spend any more time talking about these fools. Moving on to the Bengals.
Fools.
Who told you last week that the Bengals were going to win that game, Angelo?
You did.
And you were not, no, it's impossible because the Steelers are 4-1. And I told you, they're massive frauds, and massive frauds they are. Like,
I don't know
Joe
how they paid
Flacco.
that much for that defense, and they still like couldn't stop a nosebleed. I actually watched a tape breakdown of some of this, and they had Jamar Chase running the same route basically the whole game.
Oh, like if I'm not mistaken, they had like 3 consecutive plays where they ran the same exam route concept. And Jamar Chase was open in all 3 of them, and it was a completion in all 3 of them. It was just insane.
Like, how does that happen? Like, how?
I don't have a clue how you do that.
So I did not. So I will give you this. Maybe I should have had more faith because again, this was actually the first like full week of practice for Joe Flacco. So this was actually the new quarterback, syndrome game. But I didn't expect the highest paid defense in the NFL to get torched by 40-year-old Joe Flacco throwing post routes to Jamar Chase all game. Like,
well, to be fair, although they are the highest paid defense and all of that, they somehow, some way, they went from a great defense last year to an awful defense this year. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was top 3. I know that. The guy.
Yeah, they were top 3 in most statistical categories, if I'm not mistaken, and they go from top 3 to bottom in the league with the same exact personnel, and it's kind of wild how they're managing this. But yeah,
they improved. They got Jalen. They lost Fitzpatrick, and they got Jalen Ramsey. I'd argue
that is true. Yeah, I would argue that as well. Yeah, they still have Joey Porter, they still have T.J. Ward, Cameron Hayward, Alex Highsmith. They're all still in there. They also added Darius Slay, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of surprising how this is going for them. But yeah, the Bengals, happy days with Joe Flacco. How many targets did Jamar Chase have? I believe it was 23.
23. It was 23
targets. That's just insane.
Yeah.
And then you look, it was actually 22 according to PFF. So maybe a target was lost in there somewhere, because I'm fairly certain, and you were as well, that it was 23. So maybe one was miscounted in there somewhere. And then like T. Higgins also had 6 catches for 96 yards. He also had a touchdown in there as well.
That's crazy.
It's just insane. And then on the other side, you have like tight end galore for the Steelers. You have Pat Freiermuth with like $111, 2 touchdowns on 5 catches.
The Bengals defense played like the Bengals defense, which is terrible.
Yes, exactly. You had Jonas Smith with 28 yards and a touchdown. You also had, if I'm not mistaken, Darnell Washington. He also had like two yards and a touchdown. So it was kind of tight end galore in there. So yeah, both offenses really went off, but you could just feel like the Bengals could be doing that all day, and it's just like they would always get the same amount of points. Props to Rodgers, who still managed to throw a 70-yard bomb at the end, an Hail Mary at like the age of damn near 40. So props to him for that. But yeah, like I told you, you guys would win this one, and now you're 3-4. If I'm not mistaken, 3-4, and the
Still got
division
a
is wide open.
We still got a whole another month, month plus without Burrow. So
At this point, the Bengals are willing and dealing.
we'll see.
Again, as I told you, I don't see the Steelers as a good team. I think they're probably the biggest fraud
Oh
team in the
my
NFL.
God, they play the Jets next week.
Yeah, so that's an easy win. No, the Steelers, right? The Steelers play the Jets.
No, the Bengals do.
Wait. Oh, yeah, the Steelers play the Packers. I was thinking of a different revenge game. I was thinking Rodgers back to New York revenge game, but no, it's Rodgers back to Green Bay revenge game. Yeah, it's the revenge game of Joe Flacco.
That's crazy.
So yeah, like a win there, the Steelers maybe lose that one. You're sitting at what? 4-4?
Steelers are, yeah.
Steelers at 4-3?
Steelers at 4-3, yeah. Where the Ravens chilling at right now?
They're at 1-5. And
Jeez.
I'm not sure if it has changed, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't. They're still the favorites to win the division.
The Ravens are?
Yeah. It might have changed this week because before this week they were. Let me double check real quick. To win the division odds.
Oh, they're on a bye this week.
Yeah, they're gonna be off the bye. Lamar should be back, although I think he didn't practice today, so that's not great. But division, yeah, they are almost tied with the Steelers. The Steelers are plus 120 to win the division. The Ravens are plus 145 to win the division.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because your schedule is kind of soft when Lamar comes back. So they're thinking Lamar, they're thinking Henry, they're thinking maybe the defense get back to what they once were.
Are you concerned at all about Derrick Henry?
I'm not really that much concerned. I'm concerned of of how they're using them at some points because I think there's a clear, like they're clearly trying to get away from him in first and second downs, and then they don't really use him in third downs, which is kind of a weird move. Like I've seen plenty of like 1st and 5, 1st and 10 inside of the red zone, and they're just like not giving him football, which is kind of asinine to me. So the usage worries me, but in terms of like him playing, I don't really see a drop off. He's still looking very good to my eye.
Okay.
I think it's just the offense hasn't really been
The
clicking
last
all that
4
much.
games, he's had under 50% snap share. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's one thing when they're winning, because when they're winning, snap share goes up. They lean on him more to run, but because the defense is so bad as well, they're getting into that deficits early, and that just means that they're going to utilize Justice Hill a bit more, which for some reason I still can't comprehend why. No team that has Derrick Henry ever uses him to throw the football or in passing down scenarios. He might either be the worst pass blocker in history, or he might actually have no hands, but he has catches, so I think he has hands. So maybe he's the worst, like 6'4" pass blocker ever. That might just be the case. I don't really understand usage in the NFL sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of why he has not been performing as he has in years prior. But as I think Lamar comes back, the defense, I think they're getting some key pieces back in terms of Roquan Smith, for example. I think he's coming back. I think they're getting back some other pieces as well. I think the defense gets a bit better, so they're in games longer, and Henry gets back to norm. I think Henry is a good buy low for like redraft leagues, so I'm not that worried about him.
That'd be crazy.
But yeah, Bengals, move on. How great they look. Okay, after that, can you finally admit that the Chiefs are back?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. The Chiefs are
When
back.
we were sitting here and we're thinking 11.5 feels like a lot of points. It's an in-division game. And then after the
Yeah.
first quarter, it's like 11.5 is definitely way too little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Raiders looked
and
like catastrophically bad as well. Like,
catastrophic. Like,
someone.
let me tell you this. Go on, sorry.
The Raiders performed worse that whole game than the Jets did in the first half of their game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I was trying to find here the full stats. The site sucks.
And I know how much you love to duck on Justin Fields, so if you performed worse than Justin Fields, that must be like DEFCON number 1 or DEFCON 5. Like,
Well, to be fair,
thank you.
um,
To be fair.
Gino hang in there longer, so I'll give you that. But yeah, Mahomes. By the way, Mahomes posted a 26 completions on 35 attempts. That's around a 74% completion, 74 completion percentage. He threw for about 286 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he didn't play the fourth quarter.
Oh my.
So that's in 3 quarters. He posted a full stat line in 3 quarters.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Praise the Lord for Rashid Rice being back because they peppered him with massive targets.
Yeah, he caught 2
It was
touchdowns in
the
his debut.
Yep. It was the Rashid Rice comeback game. His full stat line, he went for not a lot of yardage. It was 9 targets on his first game back, but
So
only
to be
7
fair,
catches for 42
Rasheed Rice
yards,
has
but
never
2
been like
touchdowns.
a down the field kind of guy. He's always been that flanker, that drag route that he's just gonna get you, 6, 7 yards here, but he's just gonna do it over and over and over again.
Yeah. I got screwed on Travis Kelce because I had a parlay of touchdown scorers that was looking
Parlay.
nice and dandy. I had a Quishon Jenkins touchdown, anytime touchdown scorer. I had a Keishon Booty, anytime touchdown scorer, because his stats when Drake May is facing a team that doesn't get a lot of pressure are absolutely insane. He just has time to throw the ball deep, and Keishon is the guy. So I put in Keishon as well, and that it. And then I had Travis Kelce in there. And Travis Kelce didn't get a touchdown. So, and the crazy thing was, he was about the same amount of odds as Rashid Rice. And I was thinking, I had Rashid Rice in there, and then I took Rashid out, and I put in Travis Kelce. So I was beating myself up for that one.
1,
All
parlays
night
are a
long.
terrible bet, but 2, how much would that parlay have paid if it would have hit?
I think it was if I'm not mistaken, a 19 or 20 odd parlay. So a plus in your odds, it's a plus 1900. And I had $5 in it, just low $5. So it would have paid me around 100 euros, more or less, with €5. So that's converting to your
That's a lot of money.
dollars. That's around that's around 115 dollars that I would make out of $6, more or less.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for me, didn't go all that well, but it is what it is. But yeah, the Chiefs are back. The Raiders are going nowhere fast. Like, I don't know what is happening there. And plus, they don't really have anyone they can bench Geno Smith for, because it's one thing to bench a guy. For example, look, the Dolphins maybe could bench two at some point because they have Quinn Ewers in there. Maybe give a shot at Quinn Ewers, see what you have in there. He had some pedigree coming out of college. He was a low draft pick, but he had some pedigree. So maybe see what you have in there. The Raiders can't even do that. Their backup is Kenny Pickett. So you're not getting anything special from him. So that's not all that fine and dandy. So I don't really know where they're going. I just know they're going down fast.
You don't know where they're going. You just know they're going down fast. That is a great euphemism for the Raiders.
Yeah. Okay. After that, a few more games here. Carolina Panthers, they beat the Jets 13-6. And I think this is the game where we can finally bury Justin Fields. Because I don't know how you're coming back from this, buddy. I think it's over. I don't see how a coach is ever gonna look at this and say, yep, I'm gonna give a starting opportunity to this guy. He's not even throwing the football anymore. He's afraid of throwing the football, it seems like. So what are you doing, buddy? You're just standing in there taking sacks. I don't know how one does that. Like, I'm looking at his stats. He had 17 dropbacks. He was sacked 3 times on 17 dropbacks. By the way, the same amount of sacks Tyrod Taylor took, but on 28 dropbacks. Justin Fields attempted 12 passes. He completed 6 of them for 46 yards. Look, I understand the wide receiver core for the Jets for this game. Maybe you can find a better one in your Sunday league. But it's 46 yards of offense and like a quarter and 2 quarters in change, or a half in change, is never gonna cut it in the NFL. Like, I'm sorry. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there and taking sacks. I think it's over. Sorry, I think it's over.
Said this how many times now?
It has never gotten this bad, though. Like, I would say this when he's out there, for example, for the Steelers last year, and he wasn't doing anything special, but he got a few wins under his belt. He wasn't really committing a lot of turnovers. He was just playing scared football at a point. Not really doing much passing, but he would get some passes off to his main read, which is kind of the only thing that he can do. And things would be passable. You could defend him. I don't know how you even defend this. This is just absolutely atrocious. This is, I don't know, man. This feels like something that can't really be fixed anymore. So he's not even running the football. He ran 4 times for 22 yards. You're facing the Panthers, my guy. You're not facing the 85 Bears.
Yeah,
I think this is,
can't even.
you
Yeah,
you can.
there's nothing to like add to that. There's no like defense to make. Like, it was just bad. Sometimes it's just bad. Like, sometimes you gotta say it's just bad.
After an absolutely atrocious game in London, Aaron Glenn went out there and he was asked, what's the status on Justin Fields? Is Justin Fields your QB going forward? And Aaron Glenn, very decisively and very angry, he was like, how dare you make that question? Like, how is that even a question? He asked. Like, my dude, in London, let me double check that just so I'm sure of this. In London, he did offensively. So in London, my guy, he had this only shows But should be passing. In London, he had 17 attempts for 45 yards. The question should always be, is he your QB moving forward? Or a better question might be, are you the coach going forward? Because if you think there's not a question when a guy throws for 45 yards in a full game, maybe you're in the wrong there. Funny enough, after he sticks by Justin Fields, he benches Justin Fields the game after being an atrocious first half. Reminds me of Salah with Zach Wilson in a conference in which he said, Zach Wilson, like benching him is not up for debate, lasting in my mind the day after he benches Zach Wilson. So it feels kind of like that at this point. But we're just speed running the whole process. It's like week 7, and the Jets don't even have moral victories. This is the state that we're in. Like, usually you have some moral victories with the Jets, like, this game, it almost slipped by our hands, this and that and this, and if this doesn't happen, maybe we have a chance. Like, you can't even say anything about this. This might legit be the worst Jet team I've seen in the 10 years that I've watched the NFL. And the worst Jets QB that I've seen in the 10 years that I've watched the NFL. Because I don't think I've ever saw a guy throw for 45 yards in back-to-back games. That's it. That's the offense. So that's my victory lap. That's done.
You happy
Okay.
now? You got to see
I
the
am happy.
downfall of Justin Fields.
It's so over, dude. It just, what is dead may never die, and right now he's dead, buried, maybe created something along those, like, he is down. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
Skull fucking.
Yeah. Oh no, not this.
Angelo, you know that you sometimes have a gift. This game was going back and forth, and you drop a message in our group chat, and it's like, I don't know, I didn't know that skull fucking meant a back and forth game. And I think it was like 2 minutes after you dropped that message, Cam Ward like fumbles a football that goes big for a Caleb on Chase on fumble 6. Put it like that.
Yeah.
It's just like the moment you say that, shit hits the fan immediately. And I told you they're gonna lose this game by 20. I was close. They lost it by 18. It truly felt like they never had a chance, the Titans. And Drake May is playing awesomely. Like, Drake May is doing things that it's like Brady-esque in terms of the records that he's breaking. If I'm not mistaken, he just set an NFL and a team high best game with the best completion percentage. He missed 2 passes the whole game on 23 attempts.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, he broke a Brady era record.
Yeah, his completion, and I believe it's an NFL record as well. His completion percentage, and it should be amongst qualified QBs, of course, all of that spiel. His completion percentage was 91.3%.
That's crazy.
So, with an average depth of target of 8.2, so he's not even just throwing the small stuff. It has 76.8 air yard percentage, only at 29.5 yards after the catch, and 47.8% of his throws on past the sticks. So it's like he is not even just throwing the small stuff; he's just all over the place right now, and he's hitting everything. And yeah, again, small tip for when they play a team, which is most weeks because they don't face anyone good. So I don't really. I think the Patriots are good, and it's fun that they're like, they had Brady, they had Belichick, all of that era. They were hated at the end of it, or for most of it. And then they have like the Mac Jones era, and like people were, yeah, this is your punishment now for years and years, and then your 20 years of dominance of this league. And then they have a bad like what 3 to 4 year patch, and they're right back at the top. Like they look great. Like they have the best run defense in the league. Their pass defense is solid as well. Their offense is clicking at all points. Their schedule is like it's as soft as baby food at this point. So I think they're good. I don't know if we're ever gonna say if he's good or not. I don't know if we're ever gonna see if he's truly good or not because they don't play anyone good. So maybe this is one of those teams that looks great for the entire regular season, but when the playoffs come, they get punched in the mouth and they are out of here. But I think the early indicators for the Patriots are that they're one of the best teams in the NFL at this point. Despite not using Travion Anderson.
Which is crazy, by the way, their best offensive weapon. Vrabel has this like weird obsession, and this probably goes back to the Belichick era, where like he just doesn't use fucking rookies, and I don't get it.
No, Belichick era would have benched Ramondre Stevenson to the moon for the amount of fumbles that he had.
Oh yeah,
Like
1000%.
Stevenson can fumble all he wants. Like this is his job. Vrabel just doesn't give a shit about Travion Anderson. Like he'd even drop this amount of workload. Like he had 2 attempts for 5 yards. I get not trusting rookies, but 2 attempts for a guy that you drafted in the second round. I don't know about that, Jim. That seems like a bit too low. Like I understand
crazy.
that they were in garbage time for the last part of the game, but they gave 5 carries to practice squad running back Terrell Jennings.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're doing something wrong here. I'll bet we are. But no, let's just keep on humming with
What did
the
Travion
Ramondre.
Henderson do? Like, why is he in the jailhouse?
I think he has fucked someone's wife. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can find out.
It has that's apparently worse than fumbling.
Yeah, for sure that's worse than fumbling. Like you can fumble all you want. Like
And
fuck
the
it, his wife.
Patriots.
No.
Yeah. And the Patriots clubhouse. That's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like he's their most electrifying player. Like they should be considering using him in wide receiver packages. That electric, and it's just.
I think the main concern, and this is what I've seen reported from Patriots beat reporters and looking at Patriots fans as well,
Say
is
the
that
pass.
the pass blocking is an issue, which is
Oh.
weird because he was one of the best pass blockers coming out of college. So maybe it's just scheme, something of sorts that he's not picking up immediately. But that seems to be the main concern for him right now, according to most reports. It's not necessarily
This is
everything
insanity.
else. Hey,
It's insanity.
Ramondre Stevenson all the way, I guess.
Stevenson to the moon.
Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs keeps ramping up. 7 targets, 7 catches, 69 yards. Kayshon Boutte. Whenever they face a team that doesn't pressure the QB, Kayshon Boutte is live for a touchdown. And you can get great odds on that. You can get like plus 300, plus 400 on that. That's always going to be money when when they play teams that don't pressure the QB. And again, they don't play many of those because their schedule is cupcake after cupcake.
Well, yeah, they earned that. They got the 4th seed.
Yeah, exactly.
They earned that
You
one
finished last
way.
in the division. It happens. So yeah, Patriots roll, and I think they'll keep rolling for quite a while now. Bears roll as well, but the Bears offense is just all over the place. But Bears defense rose up, and they got the win. So there's not much to say about them. It's time. The Eagles won.
Yep, the get right game. Not only did the Eagles win, how did Devontae Smith and AJ Brown look, buddy?
That's good.
Did they win well enough for you, Alex? Did they win well
Not
enough?
well, not really. I'm not sure
Oh
how
my!
you use. I mean, they robbed the Vikings of a touchdown in the end, so I don't know about winning nicely or not. The touchdown wouldn't necessarily give them the win. It would cover the line though, so I would have gotten the win in the picks. But they had a touchdown pass to TJ Hawkinson when they were down 19-28. Hawkinson, in my eyes, he had the touchdown. Referee said that the ball bumbled when he touched the ground, but he never really lost possession. So I was going to kind of dumbfounded that they went back on that one. But again, it's the Eagles, so of course they're going to do that.
The
Gotta
Eagles.
do everything for America's team, for new America's team. Um, so yeah,
Team.
with that touchdown, I probably cover the line if they go for two. So that's 8 points. They would be down one. Even if they just go for the one, I covered the line because the line was plus 2.5. So I'll get my win, but they don't even do that. But I mean, in terms of rushing, Vikings were a better rushing team, if I'm not mistaken, in this game.
They were.
In terms of most, like, weird game because the defense was corralling the Vikings for most of the game. The Eagles defense was corralling the Vikings for most of the game. Wentz looked absolutely atrocious, but the Eagles never really got going. I believe like going into the second half, the game was 14-6, and it looked like an Eagles domination game. Then Carson Wentz got something going. He managed to get some passes. He managed to make some plays to Jordan Addison, and they got back into the game when it looked like it finally might be over for the Eagles because it was like a third or fourth and long, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it was a third and long. If the Vikings got a stop, they would have like around 5 minutes left on the clock or so, and get the ball back. Like Hurts hits a massive ball
Overshot
to
the
AJ
Eagles
Brown,
is crazy.
and they managed to get the win. I'm still not convinced that they're good, but they got the win. So hey,
You should
it
have
is what
just
it
you
is.
should have taken your medicine. Just say you should have taken your medicine. You should have picked the Eagles, and you should have went on with your day. That would have been easy. They play the Giants next week, Alex. Are you gonna take your medicine, Alex?
The Giants, the team that they lost to a couple weeks ago.
Are
I don't
you
know
going
about
to
that,
take?
Jim.
You're not gonna take your medicine, huh?
I know. They still can't run the ball for shit. Like, I think that should be noted.
Did the Eagles play the Jets one week? That would be like the hardest decision Alex has ever made in his life.
Nah, it would be very easy. Even I can't hate the Eagles that much.
Even I can't hate the Eagle.
But no,
So
in terms,
you're
like,
gonna be gone. You're gonna be gone for what? Week 8 or week 9?
I'm off next week.
So you're gonna be gone for week 8. So we're not gonna get you to take your medicine. Week 9, the Eagles are on a bye, and then week 10, Eagles versus Green Bay. So that's gonna be perfect. You know,
Yeah,
you get you get your 2-week Eagle break basically, and then Eagles Packers.
right back to picking against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
but again, I think the concerning part with the Eagles right now is that the big thing that they had going for them last year was the run game, and they can't set up the run at all. Like Barkley had 43 yards in 18 attempts. He had only 2 carries go for 10 or more yards. No, only 2 carries go for a first down. And if I'm not mistaken, they only had one explosive carry, so carry for more than one explosive run, so carry for more than 10 yards. Yeah, the Vikings had four. Eagles only had one. The explosive run, it went for 11 yards. So you take that one out, the one explosive run that Saquon Barkley had, then you're looking at 17 attempts for 32 yards, which is downright atrocious at this point. So they can't run the football. The passing game is up and down. at times, and you're expecting me to say that they're a good team. I don't know. I think in time I'm gonna be right about the Eagles.
You've been waiting
Again.
3 years to be right about the Eagles, Alex.
Again, my main
You'll be right
spoiler
3
for
years
this
later.
season.
Oh my
No,
god.
the main spoiler for this season is that they're not winning a playoff game.
Okay, Alex.
So let's see if I'm right on that one or not.
You
We'll
predicted
see.
that last year too.
Well, and the year prior I was right. What do you want me to tell you?
That's your spoiler
Okay.
every year. The Eagles aren't going to win a playoff game, man. The Eagles aren't going to win a playoff game, man.
I was
Thanks.
right 2 years ago, as I said before. So
Find a new one. The Eagles aren't going to win the division.
I wish I could say that, you know? But the rest of the division, and thank God you mentioned that, because that's the perfect takeaway. Because the rest of the division seems hellbent on losing games that they shouldn't lose, like the goddamn New York Giants. Let me tell you a stat, Angelo. This was a stat that they threw out at the end of the broadcast for the Broncos Giants game. So, speaking of that, Broncos Giants, did you know that 1,602 times, consecutive times that is, a team has led by 18 points or more with 6 minutes left in the game, they have won it. Now that streak is broken because the Giants were leading by more than 18 points with 6 minutes left, and they managed to lose that game. Not only did they manage to lose that game, I think the most interesting part is that with a team leading by 18 with 6 minutes left, there were 3 change of leads in that game with 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
It's just the most insane game ever that I've ever watched. Like, Bo Nix looked like outright atrocious. You look at the chart. I wish you could see the chart that I'm looking at right now. It's the game overview chart of their point scoring. Hey, let me send you a picture right now, real quick, so you can have a proper laugh. This is what I'm looking at. This is the chart of points scored that they had. Take a look at Group Me right now, real quick. Tell me that's not the most just batshit scoring chart that you've ever seen. It's just like 0, 0, 0. Well, 33 points. In 6 minutes, they scored 33 points. The Broncos did. Despite Bo Nix looking absolutely atrocious for 3 quarters, despite the Giants not looking all that much impressive playing football for 3 quarters as well. All of a sudden, Bo Nix turns it up. Jackson Dart throws a pick 6. And it just goes tits up. Or throws a pick. I don't know if it went for 6. But it was a pick. And all of a sudden, things just went kaboom. I don't know what's more impressive in that game. There's a few things that are impressive. Bo Nix turning from
of the Giants organization, and then things just went kaboom.
It's just there's a lot of impressive things. I don't know what's the more impressive. Like Bo Nix looking like from the worst QB in the league to one of the best in 15 minutes. The Jackson Dart throwing I don't know how people are so hyped up about Jackson Dart. I was watching this dude trying to make a comeback after being up 19 points. And the only thing that he do was dropping back and threw the football 50 plus yards like a goddamn lunatic. He threw the ball in 3 attempts. He threw the ball twice at Broncos defenders' hands that they just dropped the football. All of them should have been interceptions. The third one that he throws, It should have been an interception as well. And the two DBs collide. I think it's Riley Moss and Hufanga. Yeah, they just collide, and Riley Moss gets taken out of the game. And then for the fourth round, he throws the football. It's an underthrown pass into the end zone, and it's just the good old trick that you can use in the NFL of throwing underthrown balls for the ref to throw a defensive pass interference flag. It's just like the weirdest shit ever. And then he scores the touchdown. And then I think the other insane part is that their kicker, who was seen recording videos just hitting 60 plus yard field goals barefoot, manages to not score not one. He manages to miss not one, not two, but three PATs. They lost the game by one. All of that is just absolutely batshit insane. I don't know, man. I felt like I was on shrooms watching that game.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That's how you make your picks, after all.
Hey, we're tied right now.
For now.
For now. There's still games to go. But yeah, it's just craziest game. EPA per passing play, the Broncos were in the gutter. They had 27th percentile. But in terms of in terms of the run game, it was absolutely great for them. They were in the 100th percentile in EPA per rushing play. It was just such a weird game, I'll tell you. I don't know what happened in that game. Hey, Broncos won. The Giants, or I don't know. I don't think I can say that the Broncos won. I think I can say that the Giants didn't want to win.
Giants didn't want to win. I love it.
It's the best way that I can put it. The Broncos didn't win. The Giants didn't want to win.
The Broncos didn't win the game. The Giants just didn't want to secure their own.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
I think that's the best way to put it.
How do you do that? I don't understand.
I thought it was an insane one. Outside of that, there's Rams, Jags. I don't think there's much to say. Jags got exposed. I can't really call them frauds because I don't think anyone besides you believed in them. So they are just back to what they once were. And I'll take the small victory lap on the fact that Brian Thomas Jr. is back to what I thought Brian Thomas Jr. was going to be, which is a Quentin Johnston 2.0. I was never wrong on him. I was just early to the take. You're all just starting to catch up now. And speaking of Quentin Johnston, Chargers lose 38-14. The Colts keep on rolling, man. Like that's a 6-1 start for them right now.
The Chargers. Like I've lost on the Chargers so much I could like sense the trap game incoming before it happened.
And you also lost a lot on the Colts, doubting the Colts, so you could sense it both ways.
Yeah, it was a double win. Double win.
They just keep on rolling, man. Like what are they putting in the water in Indianapolis? Because it's going crazy right now. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's a spring chicken right now.
I'm pretty sure they use the same stuff that the Eagles used last year.
Oh, for sure. That's the mumbo jumbo stuff. That goes crazy. Oh, by the way, Quentin Johnston, huh? Wheels up. Not.
You know, sometimes, yeah.
This is apparently Oronde Gadsden's team because that dude went for 7 catches, 164 yards, and a touchdown. After that, it's old man Keenan Allen's team as well because he got 14 targets, 11 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Oh, by the way, did you know that I went against Keenan Allen? We just had this crazy stat line that I told you. I went against Justin Herbert, who also had a very good fantasy day. I went against Quinton Judkins, who had like 3 touchdowns for the Browns, so a great game as well. And I'm still blowing that team out of the water. So that's fun. I'm loving life with that team. I'm up like 20 and I have JSN to go. Because I have Jamar Chase. And I have Jalen Warren. Javonte Williams. AJ Brown. All of those dudes just coming up for me all of a sudden. Loving life right now. You know who's not loving life right now?
Who's
Quentin
that?
Johnston. Womp womp. I'm fairly certain he had a drop as well. So we're back to Quentin Dropston. I'll double check that, but I'm fairly certain that he had a drop. Quentin Johnston. Where's the drops? Yeah, the drop. We're back to Quentin Dropston.
Just
Let's
celebrating.
go. Let's go.
You celebrating failures, just.
Hey, I took a lot of shit with Quentin Johnston looked halfway decent for like 2 games. So I need to cash back on that. Corey needs to hear about me. I need to drop him some messages because he was all over me when Quentin Johnston was doing good. So now I can shit all over Quentin Johnston. Because apparently last year I couldn't. It didn't sit right with him because he wasn't really talking about Quentin Johnston. So it just came off weird that I was just shit talking Quentin Johnston. But now he has, so it's fair game now. Time to shit on him and time to shit on Brian Thomas Jr. Both of those bums can go fuck themselves. Hey, I have to have some rants now that Justin Fields is no longer a thing.
Yep, you have to move on to the next one.
Yep.
You gotta let Justin. That's gonna be sad for you. You have to let Justin Fields die.
It's been a good relationship. This is what year 5 of Justin Fields. Like this back and forth that we have on Justin Fields, it has been going on for quite a bit. We can finally put it to rest now. It's like he had a bury the casket match with someone, and it's with the Undertaker, and it's like it's rest in peace.
What if another team gives Justin Fields another shot, man?
Hey, great content for the show because I just know what's gonna happen. I don't think anyone else will give him a shot at starting. Because the only team that I could see doing so is a team that just looks at Madden stats, and I know that's the Jets. So like he's no longer working for the Jets. Unfortunately, Woody Johnson's son can make the pick again and select him because he has nice Madden stats. Well, that's it for the games. I think we talked. There's the Niners Falcons. That game was kind of weird. I don't have much to say about that one. Niners won. I was feeling pretty confident that I was going to cover that line, which was 3.5, if I'm not mistaken. And when I was watching that game, I watched it back this morning. When I was watching that game, it looked like I had a chance for most of the game, but then the turnover from the Falcons late and the CMC touchdown. How good is CMC though? Like 201 total yards with 2 touchdowns. He's just the offense.
Yeah, CMC is crazy until he goes down.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen this year. Well, things usually only happen when you talk nice about guys. So I think CMC is kind of safe right now.
You think
Unless you
CMC
start saying until you start saying that he's like running back 1 in Dynasty or something like that, like Malik Neighbors, for example, or you're starting to get your hopes up, like a Emeka Buka, for example, then things start to hit the fan. But right now, you're not in that camp, so I think he's safe for now.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of Emeka, let me see if he's in this week. We're about to have news on that.
He might be.
I know.
I benched him just to be safe because it's a Monday night game and
Well, you could use the auto start functionality. Well, he's active. He's gonna play. So, hey, let's hope he doesn't re-aggravate his injury. Because it's an hamstring. We know how those go. It feels very weird to play him this week. I'm not gonna lie. That feels like a disaster waiting to happen, especially with the Bucks injury luck. Like Chris Godwin re-injured his fibula. That doesn't sound nice at all. Mike Evans, hamstring injury, he had to be out for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now you're gonna put Emeka in with an hamstring injury that he just sustained last week. I don't know if that's very smart, Bucks, but okay, let's see. All right, those were the game. I don't know if you have anything else to add on the Niners game or any of the other games, or if you want to jump straight into the picks.
the picks.
For the picks we go.
Yeah.
Tablet.
You got the tablet out?
I need to get the tablet out because I'm out of battery on the phone. So, while doing that, I can give you a recap on the picks as well. I also need to do the recap on the minerals. Minerals? Oh, I did great in the minerals. I'm just looking at it now. And you did as well. You only missed one. I hit them all. Things are really coming up to me right now. I like it.
Alex.
Yes.
It's just a hot streak. It'll end, buddy.
Hey. I don't know about that, Jim.
You don't know about that? Okay. Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
Let's see. Everything is coming up to Milhouse. So I guess I'll start this week by the recap on the minerals. A bit of a curveball here, but since I have this open, minerals. I went 3-0. I had the Carolina -1.5, New England -7.5, and Cincinnati +4.5. And you went 2-1. You missed your gold pick because you had Jacksonville +3.5. I don't know how you fell for Jacksonville, dude. That's like the easiest one ever to dodge, but okay. That means the gold record. I am now at 2-5. You're at 4-3. Silver record. I'm now at 2-5. You're now at 6-2. It's your best mineral. And then for bronze, I have a winning record in one of those. I am at 4-3, and you are at 2-5. So your worst one is the bronze. My best one is the bronze. Okay, for our picks. Again, the lines aren't locked yet. If there's a major shift, I'll talk with you and I'll post it on the Twitter. So just make sure to be follow of the Twitter. So just make sure to be following us on Twitter at No Reserves Radio. You'll get all the updates there and anything that is like picks related or anything like that. Occasionally, you'll see like some Angelo.
Answer a hard question. Go on.
Yeah, maybe. You'll occasionally see some Angelo tweets in there as well, or some response to Angelo, like just deranged segment of tweets. I'll put it like that. When the Eagles are doing fine. So just make sure to stay tuned for that one. But as I was saying, if anything major changes in terms of the lines and whatnot, because the lines only close tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, I'll let you know and we'll discuss, because there's some lines in here. The Baltimore Ravens line, for example, it's Lamar dependent, for example. The Texans line might change. I think the Seahawks are on bye, so that doesn't change all that much. Then you have the Bucks this week. I believe they're going to be out next week, so that should be fine. And then you also have the Lions playing this week, and I think they're going to play next week. Okay. So, no London game this week. And this is actually the week that I like the most in the NFL, and I'm not going to be here for it. Because I like this week a lot, because it's the week that my daylight saving kicks in. And I go an hour, I think I go an hour back. And so the games here, for me, start at a better hour, because you guys only have the daylight savings the week after. And I'm not going to be here to enjoy it. So that's a bummer.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
Alex.
Come on now. Okay, so let's start. Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are 3.5-point favorites at home. I think this is a nice bounce back spot for the Chargers. Both Carson Wentz and JJ McCarthy are questionable. Carson Wentz with a left shoulder injury, JJ McCarthy with the ankle injury as well, which apparently it had
Aggravated?
What?
Re-aggravated?
It's re-aggravated, but it's because of the inflammation that he had. So re-inflammated, I guess it's the correct term. When they had a trip to London, so that's not great. He's still questionable. I don't know if he's going to be in for this game or not. So I don't know who their QB is going to be. So I'll take the Chargers here. It's -3.5. I think they get the bounce back here after an embarrassing loss versus the Colts.
So you have the Viking or the Chargers?
The Chargers -3.5.
So I kind of think JJ McCarthy is coming back, and I don't know why. Just based on that hunch, I'm going to go with the Vikings. Because I
thought that was going the other way. For sure.
What?
Like, if JJ's back, I'm not picking the Vikings.
Wow.
No, man, we watched 2 games of them. One game they faced the Bears defense that has not looked good for 5 of the 7 weeks in which there has been in which they've played, and they looked shell shocked for 3 quarters, and then they pulled a massive win in the end. And then the second game of JJ McCarthy looks absolutely atrocious. So I'm sorry if I'm not going to trust him coming back versus the Chargers.
Okay. That is your prerogative. Next week, we have the Dolphins at the Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 7.5 points in Atlanta. I think that's a lot of points. My faith in Miami is at an all-time low right now. Like, they made the Browns look like the Chiefs. I can't do it. I can't like, because it's not like they changed anything. They're just gonna go through this. Yeah, I gotta go with Atlanta. Like, there is no silver lining with Miami. Like, what's the silver lining you're going for?
I thought you were gonna pick the Dolphins, and I was thinking of the famous line of "Never interrupt your opponent when he's making a mistake." This game is just gonna be like Cleveland. Like, Falcons defense isn't as good, but they can get to the QB, and the Falcons have the best rushing offense in the league.
They have a better offense than Cleveland.
Yeah, they have the best rushing offense in the league, or one of the best. I believe it's top 3 right now. And the Dolphins have the worst run defense in the league. So this is just going to go like the game from last week, in which I told you Judkins would run all over them. A very run-heavy game from the team going against the Chargers. I mean, Kamani Vidal had over 100 yards, 100 scrimmage yards versus the Dolphins. Rashad Jenkins had damn near 100 yards rushing against them as well. Like, I don't see how Bijan doesn't run all over them as well. So give me Bijan, give me the Falcons. I think Michael Penix has hurt his knee or his ankle. I don't know if he will play, but I don't think there's a massive difference going to Kirko. So we might see Kirko, but the game plan is the same. Just run the ball down their throat, force Tua to throw the football, and force the mistakes.
It's that simple.
Simple as. Okay. Chicago Bears. The currently 4-2 Chicago Bears on a, I don't know if it's 3 or 4 game winning streak. They go to Baltimore, the 1-5 Baltimore. 1-5 Baltimore is favored by 6.5 points versus the 4-2 Chicago Bears. I feel like Lamar off the injury, okay, they're off the bye, but I think the Chicago offense is good enough for me to get this game close and for Chicago to cover a 6.5 line. Plus, the Lions lock tomorrow. This is not going to be just enough and we won't have enough information to know if Lamar is going to be in or not. He didn't practice today, but the hope is that he's going to be back this week. 6.5. If I have to face Snoop Huntley or Rush, it's the Bears. I would take the Bears as favorites there. If I'm facing Lamar, I think 6.5. I'm safe, so I'll take the Bears with 6.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. Like, I think even if it's Lamar, the Ravens defense has looked atrocious. Honestly, other than the Browns, every defense in the AFC North has looked terrible. Like, bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Give me the Bears 6.5. Buffalo versus Carolina. In Carolina, Buffalo is a 7.5 point favorite. And this is a humility moment. This is sometimes you have to admit Carolina's not as bad as I think they are, and I think 7.5 is too many points, especially considering Buffalo's roster doesn't look that impressive outside of Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen could get hot and this game could be over quick, but at the same time, I think there's more chances that Carolina stays within 7.5.
It's gonna be the red BB gun, by the way. This week.
Dalton?
Yeah.
So
Bryce,
new quarterback.
believe,
So I would have picked him anyway. New quarterback, first game. Yep.
Yeah, because
First
I
game logic.
believe Bryce should be out. I believe he has a what is it? I think it's an eye ankle sprain or something like that. And the belief is that he's going to be out this week. No confirmation yet, of course. But yeah, this game has me a bit torn because, again, I'm a believer-ish in Carolina, or at least believer that they are not as bad as people think they are. But I also don't see many quality wins. And when I look at Buffalo, the quality wins are against the crappy opponents. I think 7.5 is a bit much, but they're off the bye. I think give me Carolina plus 7.5, but it's one of the ones that I'm the least confident in, I would say.
Most interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not entirely sold this is going to work. I think where they have some. I think I'm picking this because where they have a plus matchup is the run game. Their run game has been doing very well, especially since Rico Dowdle has taken a major role. And the Buffalo Bills have one of the worst run defenses in the league so far. Plus, they should be out with a few key players as well in there. So I'm going to go Carolina because of that. I think they keep the tempo low. I think they draw up some of the clock when they have the football. They'll make the Bills force the football more. And I think he'll lose this game, but I think it's by a touchdown. So with 7.5, I think we're clear here. It's one of the lines that if it changes to like 6.5 or so between today and tomorrow, I might change my pick. So yeah, stay tuned to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
buddy.
The New York Jets at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are 6.5-point favorites.
The movable object versus the stoppable force.
I'm gonna go with the revenge game of Joe Flacco. There's not enough points that you can give me for the Jets to make this work. I'm sorry. Maybe if you gave me like 14.5, and even then, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a funny number because you're going to be seeing that later. Anyway, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think if there's an offense that can make the Bengals defense look competent, it is the Jets. And if the strategy really is Joe Flacco slings it to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins a bunch of times, that's a winning formula. So, yeah, I got to agree with you. That's 4 agrees in a row. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
We're in the same page.
Next up, 49ers at Houston Texans. Houston is favored by 1.5 currently. That can change by Tuesday after the results of Monday night.
Nope.
I'm going with the 49ers.
It's the Mac Jones, by the way. It looks like it's Mac Jones again.
That's fine. I'm still going with the 49ers.
Yeah. I'm impressed by the Niners defense. They have Fred Warner
Especially
out,
with
Nick
all the
goes
injuries.
out. And the defense looks very good versus one of the best rushing offenses in the league. They completely nullified it. So again, major props to Robert Sal. Hey, I think unless the Houston Texans show me something today versus my Seahawks, I have to go with the Niners. Like Niners plus 1.5 looks fine and dandy. I would expect them to be favorites. After all, they're 5-2. But hey, give me the Niners. Okay. The Cleveland Browns, they go at Foxborough, they go at the New England Patriots. Patriots are 6.5-point favorites. I think this one is a slam dunk for me. It's the Patriots minus 6.5. The only thing that the Browns can do is run the football. The Patriots are the best run defense in the league right now. So I think they'll completely nullify that. And they'll have to have Dylan Gabriel throw the football. And I don't see how that goes any well. So I expect the Patriots to have at least one defensive touchdown. They'll probably hold the Browns to maybe 10 points or so. And I think Drake May at the level that he's playing is good enough to get me the points that I need to cover this line. I think this game is easily a 24-10 sort of game.
Yeah. I agree with you.
It's just rolling.
Jeez. Well, it's about to end.
We're either having one of the best weeks on the show or one of the worst ones. There's not going to be any in between here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here to justify it, so enjoy.
Yeah, I can have a monologue with Austin about it. Moving on. Eagles at Giants. Eagles are favored by 7.5, and we stand on business with the Eagles. I'm not going to lie, especially with the way the Giants have looked in the past 3 weeks. I'm not very confident in this line. That said, we stand on business. And I think if fourth quarter Giants comes in the first quarter, that's going to be very, very bad for the Giants. So,
hey,
yeah.
I'm going to be right back to standing on business. And I'm going to pick the Giants. Giants plus 7.5. Again, Eagles can't really run the football. I think the Giants' defense has been good enough to where they can get some stops against the Eagles. The question is, because the big difference between this game and the game that they just had like 2 weeks ago is that the game 2 weeks ago didn't really have Jalen Carter, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm confusing that, and he was in, and he wasn't the game after. But again, Giants, I think defensively they're solid when they're not fucking things up, and when their defensive coordinator isn't fucking things up. I think they're solid on defense, and I think on offense, Jackson Dart is a loose cannon, Cam Scatterwoo is a loose cannon, but they're making plays. I mean, they're standing on business basically. They're throwing caution to the wind. They're like Jeff Hardy back in 2008. They're jumping off of ladders and they're taking every risk possible to win the championship. That's what they're doing. They're just having fun. And I think when teams are wired like that, the mentality changes and the vibes changes around the team and they can get something going. I don't expect them to win this game, but at 7 points, I know that they'll be in it until the end. So there's worse lines to take than 7.5 with the Giants. Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Buccaneers 6.5 point favorites. I keep having this idea that the Saints are pesky and the Saints will be in it and the Saints this and that. And they seem to be lacking all of that all the time. Like versus the Bears, for example. They looked done and over. And then they had a burst in there and they scored 14 points. And it looked like maybe I had a chance with the line. I believe it was like 5.5. And they just completely crumbled again. I think one key takeaway is that Kendra Miller isn't going to be in. He tore his ACL, so they now have to force feed Alvin Kamara against their will, basically. And yeah, that's kind of what they have to do at that point. I think this line could change depending on what happens on Bucks, Lions. Divisional game, but I think I'll still take Baker. I don't love this game as well, but I'll take Baker minus 6.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I also don't have faith in the Buccaneers. Their offense seems to be pretty much Chris Olave. Like, respect to him. He's having one hell of a season. In fact, hold on, let me see. I'm pretty sure he's a wide receiver.
If I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure he's a wide receiver 1 right now as we talk. If not, he's really close.
I think he's
wide receiver 9. Yeah, he's a wide receiver 1 as of right now, which is crazy. But yeah, that's all they got though.
That's it. That's all they need, I guess.
That's not all they need. That's all they got. Like, they're 1-6 for a reason. Next up is the Cowboys at the Denver Broncos. This feels like a Cowboys after shellacking. Who did they shellac last week that we both catastrophically undercategorized? The Commanders. Shellacking the Commanders, this feels like a trap game where the Cowboys woefully underperform against Denver, especially Denver coming off that high of that fourth quarter. But I just can't ignore the first 3 quarters of Denver, dude. Like, man. And if you have a first half like you did against the Giants, that game is over against Dallas. Dallas isn't up 19-0. They're probably up closer to 28-0. Like, I think I'm going to go with Dallas.
First 3 quarters.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Dallas. Maybe I'm falling for the trap, but I'm going to go with Dallas.
This game has me a bit torn as well. Because on one hand...
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard. I think this line is right on the dot. Because on one hand, Dallas offense has been one of the best in the league so far. And now with CD back especially, things are looking great for them. But their defense is still an Achilles heel.
Absolutely.
And Denver's defense has been very solid for most of those games. Even versus the Giants, they had a solid defense. They're playing well. They're playing well at the back. They're getting to the QB well enough. But again, I can't make sense of what Bo Nix is at this point. I think he's all over the place at times. They seem hell-bent on not wanting to use his running capabilities, even though that's like where he shines the most. And it's just kind of a weird game plan that they're going into. I think they will be able to run the football, but I think Dallas. I'm really
It's a hard one.
struggling with this one.
It's a hard
It's the
line.
hardest on the board so far. I'll for sure be on that. I think I'll be. Let's skip the trend of the show. I think I'll be with you with Dallas plus 3.5.
You know, we've only called 2 games differently so far, and we only have 3 games left.
Well, that's how things go sometimes. I know one of them at least will be different in the last game. So
You think so?
okay, well, I think so. Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are 14.5-point favorites. I'll take this line even if it's 20. They are the hottest team in the league right now. Tennessee Titans are perhaps the coldest team in the league right now. I think Cam Ward is having a lot of luck. Because if any other first round, can you imagine all the shit that I took for Caleb last year? And Caleb didn't play half as bad as Cam Ward.
You're not wrong.
This is maybe the single weirdest time in which a first overall QB has played as bad as Cam Ward has, and there's zero criticism in the media. Absolutely nothing.
Fair,
no one.
Cam Ward might be the least hyped number 1 overall pick of our generation.
Well, true. That's also correct.
Right.
But it's still a number 1 overall pick, and he's getting zero shit on this.
He's not. You're right, and it is weird. I can see that. I think my Colts senses are tingling, and I think this is a trap game. I think the Colts are going to win. I don't think it's going to be by 14 points. I'm actually going to go with the Titans here.
See? A game different, at least. I don't know. I think they'll run all over the Titans, and I think Daniel Jones is playing good football. The Colts offense is playing good football. And their defense is solid right now.
They are.
So, plus, Cam Ward is also throwing to pumpkins at this point. He's throwing to Hayamanor and to someone named Dick. So, I don't know what they're doing, dude. Like, speaking of lack of weapons,
yeah,
they're
kind of the most. That's part of the reason why he's not getting shit.
Probably fair. Probably fair.
How do you know?
let me name you some of the guys getting footballs for them. So one of them is Shimmer Dyke, a rookie out of some hellhole in this world. Van Jefferson, Arthur Smith's favorite guy, or second favorite after Jonah. This guy is named Gabe G. Elm. So I remembered. Like, wait, is Gregory Helm in the NFL right now? But no, it's Gunnar Helm. So it's fair enough, I guess. He's also throwing to, again, the manor of Io, Alec Manor. And then he's throwing to 33-year-old Tyler Lockett. Those are the players that he's throwing the football to.
Yeah.
It's rough out there.
Yeah,
and then he has the duo of Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard combining for 40 yards running.
Yeah, it's rough out there in these streets.
It's very rough.
Next game. Green Bay versus Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Green Bay is favored by 3.5 points. Ain't no way I'm taking that Pittsburgh defense. They're the worst, highest paid defense in the NFL. Give me Green Bay.
Green Bay, sort of weirdly. I expected more from Green Bay, you know?
More than 4-1-1?
Again, it's the winning good enough. They are
God.
struggling in a lot of these games. Like the Cardinals game. against Jacoby Brissett, they were struggling for a lot of that game. They weren't getting a lot of drives going. They weren't getting a lot of offense going. Jordan Love didn't that great of a game. He only had 179
You
yards
almost
passing.
called Jordan Love Justin Fields.
No, I called him Justin Love. That would be the amalgam. But 179 yards passing, not that great. The run game doesn't seem to be going all that well either. I know Josh Jacobs he's having some injuries and whatnot. I'm still gonna go with them because I think they're the better team. But again, they're starting to make some doubts. They're starting to make me a doubter when I was very much team. I mean, I told you here, they're. I think at a point I said they're the best team in the NFC. I have a lot of doubts on them right now, so I hope they put a decisive win against the Steelers. Finally, the Washington Commanders. They go at the Kansas City Chiefs. This looks to be a Marcus Mariota line because Jaden Daniels should be out this game. The Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites. The Chiefs are back. The Chiefs are just throwing the football like crazy. Patrick Mahomes is having a great season. The defense is just running rampant as well. Just give me the Chiefs. Chiefs minus 9.5 seems to be one of the easiest one in the board.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there.
Oh, I thought this one would be different. So, okay. So we're the same in a lot of these peaks. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go, Jim. Let's hope for the best. Okay, minerals. I did the recap. I'll pick first this week as well. So I'll take Atlanta minus 7.5. That's my gold. Easy. Atlanta keeps dunking on the Dolphins.
Go on.
After that, I'll take New England as my silver pick minus 6.5. That seems like a slam dunk as well. And then finally, I will take I think I'm between the Bears and the Chiefs, but I don't think it's smart to take a 10.5-point favorite in this sort of pick. So I'm gonna go with the Bears in Chicago plus 6.5.
Okay. I'm baking my steak on this week. My gold will be the Tennessee Titans. My silver will be the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia minus.
And my bronze. Good. 7.5 right
7.5.
now. And my bronze
Okay.
will be the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, Minnesota. Okay, so your minerals are the ones that we're not in agreement.
The only games we're not in agreement, yes. Those
Right,
games will decide the week.
Okay, that's going to be it. That's going to be the team this week for you. Is it really only those three? Damn, we're on the same page in a lot of these. So we either have a terrible week, you blame me for it, and now you go on a run of never picking like I do, or this goes perfectly and we don't need to adjust anything. So on this week, right now we're both 7-7. So unless I'm missing something here, at the very least, we are going to have let me double check this real quick before I say something. So I have 4 losses, 5 losses, 6 losses. So at worst, we're going to be a game under 500. I don't know how we are. What's your picks this week? I think you're on the Texans, right?
Pretty sure I'm on the opposite side of you. I'm on the Lions and the Texans, yes.
Okay. So one of us is probably going to be 500 or better. The other one might be below that. But nevertheless, it's still 7 wins apiece. Overall total goes to 55 for you, 49 for me, which can still be improved 2 wins either way at best. So, hey, I'll let you do the recap next week. of the Monday Night Football this week and the picks next week, because next week it's going to be an Angelo week with Austin. The guy who has been disappearing for quite a while, he's coming back.
He will be back.
He needs to cover for me because I won't be around. So no rants for me next week.
No Alex rants. You're gonna have to wait a week for that.
If the Giants win, I'm gonna be so mad that I can't rant. God damn it. Okay, but it is what it is. That's what we need to do.
You're gonna have to. Well, maybe we'll just get through it. The week will be over. You won't be able to.
It's over. So, hey. Okay. Do you have anything else to add, Angelo?
I have nothing else to add now.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you so much, guys. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed everything going on around here. We're gonna be back next week. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, on the Spotify app, just make sure to leave us a 5-star review, turn on the auto downloads, and make sure to subscribe to the show as well. All of that really helps out the show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at No Reserves Radio. And as I said, we're gonna be back next week. I hope you're enjoying the season. And as always, I can't even say my line because I'm not going to be back next week. Talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
See you guys. All right.